Julia as she shares why she walks.
Good morning, y'all. Listen, we're going to need to do better than that, right? Good morning, y'all.
Good morning.
That's all right. Because the lesson that we're going to learn is that grief doesn't exist in the binary. We do not have to exclude joy so that we can be in our grief for the people that we walk for today. They're parallel tracks. We get to be joyful and grieve. We get to find our purpose in life and keep moving, right? We will not stay silent about the things that we've experienced in life because silence is deadly. Let me tell you what silence did to me more than a decade ago. It had me telling people when my partner died, her heart stopped. She had a reaction to medication. People were asking me what it was like to live without my best friend. And I said, well, it's really tough sometimes. What I didn't have the opportunity to do more than a decade ago was to tell people that I lost my partner. What I didn't have the opportunity to do was to actually be a widow. I didn't have the opportunity to tell people that the woman who died, and they wouldn't let me in the room to see her, except for the fact that she carried a note in her wallet saying, let her in. We both had notes. If anything ever happens to either one of us, this is the person who has power of attorney, let them in. And you see, at that time, I couldn't tell people what I had actually lost. We were just good Southern roommates, living in separate rooms in the same house, raising kids that other people didn't want to raise. And then on top of that, I couldn't tell people that it was suicide because we didn't talk about that. So what did I say? Her heart stopped. And it wasn't until a good friend said, well, Julia, you're smart, you're a lawyer. The only way to die is for your heart to stop. What actually happened? You see, that's when I knew we lived in a world where people were satisfied with the superficial and they actually didn't want to know what happened, because when I said to them her heart stopped, they stopped asking. So I walked through life in silence and lonely, and until someone challenged me and said, no, what really happened? And then I said, well, it was a reaction to medication. They're, well, Julia, you're a lawyer. You would have started a lawsuit by now if it was a reaction to medication, my friend. Like, what actually happened? Said she took too many pills for the 4th time. And they dropped. And they said, I had no idea. I had no idea you were even going through this. I said, well, how would you? Where are we supposed to talk about it? What are we supposed to do? But it's getting through those moments in life that when on my partner's birthday, 5 years later, when I'm getting ready to go out and have a Coke and Oreo cookies at the beach because that's what she loved, I get a phone call from my best friend from childhood. And she says, Timmy's been shot. In those moments, because I had been through what I had been through in life, I knew by the tone of her voice what had actually happened. And I said, Vicki, what we're going to do from this moment forward is that we're going to be honest with ourselves about what happened, because I lived in dishonesty for 5 years, and I almost lost me in the process. So I went to be with her in honesty. When we have the courage, my friends, to step out of silence and into healing, we have the courage, look around us, to reach diverse communities everywhere. This thing impacts all of us. There is no color, there is no gender, there is no socioeconomic status that divides us from the grief that comes from a moment like this, but we don't have to do it alone. And what I'm to remind of, I want us, in those moments when we find ourselves ruminating on all the iterations in isolation, what do? We reach out. When the moment that we find ourselves wanting to suffer in silence, what do? We reach out. In the moments where we just want to curl up and we want no one else to know what we're going through, we reach out. And it's these strategies that have gotten me through all the difficult moments in my life. And no, it's not Mardi Gras, right? It's for my law enforcement friends and friends that I've lost along the way. It's for the people that I know in the military who's lost their lives. It's for the dear friends, the family members, and everyone else that I know been impacted by suicide. But guess what? I will not conform to societal expectations that tell me that grief is linear. It doesn't have a time period. She's been gone more than a decade, and I talk to her every single day of my life. And I won't stop. But I also refuse to believe that grief forebodes joy. I will dance with grief. I will be happy in it, I will love it, and I will miss every moment that what could have been, but I won't stop trying to create what is different and what is new for tomorrow. So friends, all I'm asking you to do is to join me. When you walk today, think about what you miss about them, but think about the thing that you can do on their behalf, because we have an incredible opportunity to carry their legacy forward. You see, we have been trusted to carry legacies, and not everybody gets that privilege. So think about the thing that your loved one would want to leave in this world, and you be the person who plants it. You be the person who waters it and watches it grow. We can have grief and carry legacies and share love all at the same time. So when you're walking today, share love, share their legacy. Don't sit in silence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julia.